And welcome in to Citrus Preps alongside Mike Deem. I'm Brett Knutson. Another day, another local high school we're going to talk about, our second podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Last night we talked to Lecanto Athletic Director Ron Allen. Got some positive feedback. We got some things we need to work out.
Yeah, sure.
But the people were pretty happy. They were nice to us.
Yeah.
Which was
they don't treat us like media. That's what's
no, that's right. So we'll focus today will be on Crystal River High School. In just a few minutes, we'll talk to their athletic director, Bobby Verlato. A guy who I know you know well, Mike. He's been around here a long time, and
good man too.
Yeah, good man. And the one thing I say this really for all four of the athletic directors we deal with. These are guys that they are involved in sports in this community, and not just their school. I mean, they like to support kids from other schools, and that's what's so great about this. But
definitely
talking to Bobby Verlato in just a few minutes. Focus on Crystal River today. An exciting time. I know talking to Bobby before the show. Fall sports is going to be kind of a completely different scenario for them. I think they've got two new head coaches. The big one obviously is football. We've talked about that now for a while. Crystal River's had a hard time keeping coaching staffs in place, and now they're going to take over with their new staff, and it's a young man that is familiar to this area. So we'll talk to Bobby about that. But that's you've been through that before.
Oh yeah, a lot of times. I mean, Bobby's. There's been Mr. Stukes.
He
was at
Tony Stukes.
Tony Stukes. Bramlett was the AD before that, and I've known them all the way through. I think it's a hard job because you've got to find the right fit, and not only in Citrus County, you've also got to find teachers. That's the hard thing. In some of the other counties, you don't have to. You can find an outside person that's going to be able to coach and work in the community, but not be a full-time teacher. So sometimes it gets more difficult for the ADs to try to find the right person to fit.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen even in the last couple of weeks a couple of schools outside this area, but saying, "Hey, we got a teacher opening, and we also need a football coach." Yeah. So if you're a football coach that can teach, that's a difficult part of it. So Crystal River back to work on the football field. No question about that. Speaking of football, as we talked about a little bit yesterday, Citrus Preps, our new endeavor, game of the week, and these podcasts are obviously the centerpiece of what we are going to be doing. Right. We're going to continue the tradition of high school football. Game of the week's on Friday nights. You'll be able to see that each and every Friday night. That's what we're trying to bring you, the best of high school coverage. You'll be able to see it on YouTube. Citrus Preps is where you can find us. Subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. We would appreciate that. Twitter at Citrus Preps, Facebook, and Instagram as well. So there's all the places you can find us. You'll see links to all of the podcasts. As we mentioned, podcasts will drop virtually every day during the week. A local high school every single day. Lecanto, Crystal River, Seven Rivers, and Citrus High. We'll have our game of the week on Friday nights as well. Football, as we said, the big one.
He's going to dominate first.
But we're going to make sure we get some volleyball coverage as well. Some of them will be in the game of the week format. Some of what we do will be in video stories you'd see on like ESPN or some of the local networks. Stories on the kids, the players of the game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Showcase our student athletes and all that. But as we mentioned, all 10 weeks of the high school football season, we will be having a game of the week, and it starts with you were involved in it, Mike. One of the better rivalries around this area.
Yeah, I'm going to date myself on that, though.
Okay, you've played in this game.
I have.
Our first ever Citrus Preps game of the week, but barring whatever weather may happen, and we went through this last year. It's not happening this year. We're swearing off a hurricane, but it'll be Dunellen at Crystal River, week number 1.
Always a barn fest. I mean, it blows out. It depends on the teams, of course, but it's always a hard fought contest. And I played in the time that the Dunellen was dominant. They actually won 2 state titles at that point, and we played against some really good players. And I remember it's always been one of those games where you go up there, it's the red and black, and you've got to play against them, and you got to be at your top of your game. I'm sure Crystal will have that, when they come to town.
Yeah, tough way to start off for anybody, especially when you're Crystal River and it's a new coach, new schemes, new systems. They do have a lot of talent. We'll get into that as the season moves along, but they do have some talent. But Price Harris and his Denellen Tigers. They're going to be a top 5 team in Class 4A. They've got another fun, difficult schedule like Price likes to play. I saw they just had a team drop them. And so, oh, by the way, how they fill out their schedule, and then maybe week 4, it's Vanguard. So they just, they're one of those teams. They're talented. They've got a bunch of Division I kids. So
that's good that Christopher is playing them now. That's one of the things that when you look at it,
got to do.
You have to do, and you have to play those upper echelon teams, even if they're in a lower class division than you.
And it's going to help you too. As we mentioned, this is year 2 of the new playoff format. Crystal River is in the bigger school category, 5A through 8A. So, of course, what that means is your district, you play all your district teams. The district champion is automatically into the playoffs. There are 4 districts in Crystal River, Lecanto, and Citrus region. So 4 district winners get in, and then there's 4 wild cards. It was exciting last year from our perspective, trying to figure out the points, what you needed to do. They've made some tweaks to the points. It'll be interesting. And Crystal River, I guess you could say they underachieved. We expected a lot more out. I think we expected them, with the talent they had coming back last year, to probably battle Nature Coast for the top spot in the district. It just didn't work out that way. But what it does mean for this year, they still do have a lot of talent.
Definitely. They always bring talent to the table, and I think that's one of the things we have to talk about with Mr. Verlato is Bobby's got to let us know, this new coach coming in, how's it changing the culture? Or is it?
Right.
We'll be able to talk to him later on further podcasts, but it's going to be interesting to see how he gets his culture changed to get that back to that mindset of the Crystal River way.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, we will pause for a quick break, and after the break, we will come back with the athletic director of Crystal River. He is Bobby Verlato. You're watching Citrus Preps on YouTube.
Changing your kitchen or bath? Let the professionals at Deems Kitchen and Bath Showrooms help you update your old kitchen or bathroom. For over 33 years, the Deem family has provided quality products and services to homeowners and builders, from total remodels to changing out your countertops.
DCI Countertops is our 15,000 square foot facility for manufacturing your silestone, granite, and Corian countertops. We can provide all your countertop needs directly from the manufacturer. So for your next project, remember the professionals at Deems Kitchen and Bath Showrooms and DCI Countertops.
Don't dream it.
Deem it.
Welcome back to Citrus Preps. Mike Dean, Brett Knutson joining you here today, and we mentioned the focus is on Crystal River High School, and we bring in the man who knows everything about the athletic program. He is the athletic director, Bobby Verlato of Crystal River High School. Bobby, a busy time for you, a lot going on. School's getting ready to start on Monday, so a lot happening, just getting kids ready and student athletes ready to go for the fall season.
Yes, sir. First off, thank you guys for having me on the show. Looking forward to having the Citrus Preps back at this new angle to give the best sports coverage around.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, appreciate it. Talk a little bit about your school and what's going on, Bobby, because I know just talking to you a little while ago, the start of a new school year in fall sports is never easy, but I guess maybe a little more challenging for you and your staff this year because some head coaching changes just kind of add to the drama a little bit, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, it's a busy time right now. As you know, kids come back for classes on Monday, which, like I said, is an exciting time. But the athletic part has been going on for a few weeks now with summer workouts and for my job being busy trying to fill all my coaching vacancies. We had some new coaches to fill, and like I said, it's an exciting time for the Pirates this year.
So can you give us some update on the coaching search and or the coaches that you've already chosen?
Okay. We'll start with our fall sports. We'll start off with football. We have a new coach, Tony Lewis, that has left the program, and we brought in a former Pirate, class of '96 alumni, Cliff Lowry. He'll be captaining the ship this year for the Pirates.
Yeah, talk about that, Bobby, because we were just talking a little bit before you came on. It's been a difficult challenge for the football program for you guys with the number of coaching changes, but with Cliff coming in, obviously a new head coach, but I'm sure it helps the fact that he's familiar with this area, sort of understands the kids and their makeup and what it's like to be a head football coach in Citrus County.
Yes, sir. Bringing Cliff back is it's a good thing. He comes with a wealth of knowledge and experience. He's coached in many programs at many different levels. But being that he's from this area and he understands what it means to be a Pirate, as he played for the legendary Coach Bramlett, but he gets the community and he knows what we need: the hard work, the blue collar work ethic that Cliff brings. So we're excited to have him back. Like I said, being that he's a former Pirate, and it's exciting, and just bringing his wealth of knowledge and the way he handles teams. I think it's going to be an exciting time. Expectations are always, at the beginning of the year they're always high, but you got to look at what you have, and he's been just changing the program and getting it back to the old Pirate pride.
So he's got some knowledge of the traditions of the Cruise River Pirates and what it takes to be a Cruise River Pirate, and I'm sure that he'll bring that to the table. But what else can he bring to the table from a standpoint of experience? And you said he has coached in many levels, but where does he bring that experience from?
Well, like I said, he has coached at the high school level here, and recently he was at Central. He had been here a couple different programs where he's coached on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. He comes in, brings in just that, like I said, that hard work ethic that the offense will be engaged where we'll get multiple levels of getting the athletes involved, trying to put the best athletes in the best position to be successful. Like I said, he's has experiences working also at the coaches level, and just he understands what this community needs, and from the standpoint of what the kids need. So the best interest of the kids, I think he's just going to bring it's going to be a good start. As you guys already alluded to, we've been through quite a few coaches since Coach Bramlett retired.
Yeah.
So we're looking for somebody that, like I said, knows the area, understands, but it's going to bring stability on the field as well as off the field.
Talking to Bobby Verlato. He is the athletic director at Crystal River High School. One more football question, then we'll move on to your other fall sports. Year number 2 of the new playoff system by the FHSAA. Your thoughts on how it went, the tweaks that have been made, and what are your other athletic directors that you talk to in the county and the rest of the state thinking about this new playoff format?
With the new playoff format, it kind of goes without saying, if you take care of yourself first, with that meaning win your games that you scheduled, you'll have a shot. But it makes for a little bit more competitive format. As far as the district, being that we're in 5A and above, we're still in the district, so those games are more meaningful as well. But it allows you to play select opponents that you're either on your level or very successful to get those points. I think what it does is it still brings some excitement, being that we're still part of a district. It gives us something to play for. But as far as getting into the playoffs, you need to take care of your business first.
Absolutely.
Talk to us a little bit about the fall sports, the other fall sports you got going on.
Yes, sir. What we got right now, being volleyball is our other big one. That's also a sport that we had to hire a new coach. Mike Ridley, who's been with our program for over the last decade, he resigned after last season. So our JV coach, Miss Megan Spellich, took over the head job, and she's got to replace quite a few seniors that we lost to graduation. A couple of players went on to the next level. So she's got a young group, very talented. We had over 50 girls try out for our team,
wow,
which is very exciting with a new coach to have that many girls that are excited about the opportunity to play. With that being said, we're going to have a third team, so we'll actually be able to have a freshman team this year as well. So, and they start next week. They play in a preseason tournament over in Lecanto.
Yeah, talk about that, Bobby, because it's pretty amazing the way volleyball has exploded, because I know we talked to Coach Allen, and I think they've got 3 teams over there. This is a sport that maybe over the last 10 or 15 years has really grown the interest at the high school level, and like you're seeing with 3 teams, it's pretty amazing, telling you how big volleyball has become in this area.
Yeah, with one of the things that really helped, like in most sports, is now that they have a lot of the travel teams and stuff. The girls are getting playing. They play. Most of them will start playing for probably some of the first time in middle school, but they get that little bit of a taste of it and really enjoy it, and they start to play in the summer programs. And it's definitely, I know, just since I've been in my position, it's become a lot more competitive around the area. There's the girls are really getting the opportunity to play. They're looking to play, whether it be locally or travel, and it's exciting. It's a sport that in the fall that a lot of times it's the opportunity for the females to get to play, and like I said, it's just around here. I know with all the 3 schools, I can't speak for the others, but I know it's just exciting to have all those athletes excited about it. And like I said, the games are really close and competitive in the last few years.
Now you've got some other fall sports coming up: golf, cross country. Talk a little bit about those teams also.
Okay. Well, I'll hit on the other one, cross country. We're luckily to have our 2 coaches back. We have Coach Tim Byrne and his wife Deirdre Byrne. They're coming back. The last couple of years, cross country, our numbers have been a little low, but I believe that they're starting to come back, and we have more kids that are wanting to try out. Like I said, that's an individual sport that it's not for everyone, but
a lot of work.
The coaches, a lot of work. Definitely, those athletes are very dedicated, and the coaches put in a lot of time with them. And I know, Christopher, on the boys' side, we have a couple key runners that we're looking forward to coming back. The Thompson boys that competed, they'll be very helpful to Coach Byrne's success this year. On the girls, the expectations, like they're very young. We have a couple runners coming back from last year that had some varsity experience, but overall, a young team.
And also talk about golf a little bit. I know you had a tremendous player last year on the girls' golf side. Talk about the expectations for that program.
Well, with golf, our expectations there, we're really starting from scratch. As you said, we lost Olivia Diop to graduation. She had been a district champion and regional athlete for the last couple of years. We lost her to graduation, so Coach McNally has his hands full. He's going to have to start from scratch, so we're going to be a very young team. On the boys' side, we lost Coach Pepito, as most people know. He took over the swim job at Lecanto, so we replaced him. But with the golf team, last year making it to the playoffs and doing very well, winning in the district and as well as regional level. We have Trent Stukes coming back, who is an all-chronicle player, so we're excited to have him back as the leader.
Yeah, and believe it or not, just a few weeks away. I know football has been busy at practice, obviously, and the home football season and everything gets underway. When is the first official athletic event that will take place at Crystal River?
The first official one that is not scheduled.
I didn't mean to throw you a curveball, Bobby. I shouldn't tell you.
No. That's all right.
It's only got 3,000 kids coming in.
Yeah, we just got a bunch of kids coming in.
Can you tell me their
swimming as well as another fall sport too? We should probably discuss too is swimming. Swimming's they're getting started next week and hitting the pool. Coach Wells has got a great group of kids coming back, and I know on the girls' side we have Genevieve Kennedy back. She's another all-chronicle athlete that we're excited to see what she can do, following her brother's footsteps. But our first official event next on the campus that's not a preseason is going to be, looks like it's going to be our volleyball team on August 23rd, opening with Lecanto at home. That'll be the first one on home campus that is not a preseason. Football next week does start with our Fall Classic. We're excited to see what Coach Lowry can put on the field next Friday night. Yeah,
and then a little more on the football team. They get the season open at home. That will be our first ever game of the week, but always a great way to start the season, at least for the fans, with Dunellen rolling into town.
Yes, sir. We definitely have that tough schedule at the beginning there, and that's an exciting game. It's a game of a quality team that we've traditionally played. They might not be from the county, but we consider them a nice rival.
Yeah, definitely.
Every time that those two get on the field, they strap their helmets up and they have a great game. So we're looking forward to being able to compete with them as they are returning a lot of players as well.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. The athletic director at Crystal River High School, he is Bobby Verlato. Bobby, really do appreciate the time. We joke, but I know how busy this time of year is for you, your coaches, with the kids getting set to roll in. So appreciate it. We look forward to talking to you throughout the year. More importantly, we look forward to seeing you out at the events that we'll be covering. And should be a fun year of sports in Citrus County, and we just can't wait to get started.
Yes, sir. Again, thank you for your time. Like I said, we're just excited with this new format you guys have. Again, just getting the coverage for these hardworking athletes, and as well as the coaches that dedicate all their time. It's going to be a fun year at Crystal River, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We appreciate it, Bobby. Enjoy the last weekend, and get ready for Monday.
Have a good one, Bobby.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right, you too. That is Bobby Verlato. He is the athletic director at Crystal River High School, and has got his hands full. Makes it a little more interesting when you have two new coaches coming in, some of them over the summer. You mentioned the difficulty of filling teaching and coaching positions, so that'll be a unique look for Crystal River. And as he talked about, Coach Lowry taking over the football program.
I like that he has the background of being a Pirate. I mean, the victory bell, the kind of stuff that they need to have, and that's kind of getting into the mindset of what is a Crystal River Pirate player. I mean, it would be the same for Citrus High School, Seven Rivers, and Lecanto, but you've got to have that mindset. It's sometimes coming from an outside, it's a little more difficult to get the players to buy in.
Yeah, whether it's a positive or negative, it seems like the last few, and not all of them have been bad hires, but it looks like after Coach Bramblett, they sort of made an effort to, let's kind of go outside because it's going to be hard to keep that tradition up. They did to varying degrees of success, but for whatever reason, I mean, Coach Lewis just had a great opportunity to go back home where he was from. Yeah. I think he liked it here, and the kids responded a little bit, but you see this all the time, even in college football programs.
Replacing an icon is difficult.
It's tough, and usually you try to get away from that era. You don't want to try to find the next clone of that, or someone maybe who's grown up here, because you think you need to change it up a little bit. And Crystal River has done that for a few coaches, and now I think they've said, okay, maybe the one piece that's missing is we need somebody that hopefully can win some games. Okay,
exactly.
Win games, but if you win 6, 7, 8, 9 games here, are you going to stay here, or are you moving on because you're from Georgia or you're from South Florida? And that's the tough part of it, because coaches are hard to find. Good coaches are even more difficult to find, and then to find coaches that want to stay. Yeah. And the other thing I've been with you, I'm sure you've seen it on social media all summer. The pay for all of the coaches, but football gets a whole different type of look. The amount of money you can make crossing over the border into Georgia, and that's difficult because these are coaches, and Florida is a wonderful place, but you have a wife and some kids, and so that's
a whole other podcast. I mean, I could go on for 45 minutes.
We'll try, but I don't think we can raise enough money to keep all of our coaches here.
I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah, we'll try. Maybe we'll have a fundraiser one time for that. But appreciate Bobby Verlato from Crystal River to talk to us today. We'll get in touch with the other athletic directors next week as we continue our podcast. Just remind everybody where you can find us. Twitter at Citrus Preps, YouTube Citrus Preps, Facebook, and Instagram. So like us, follow us, subscribe. You can see all of the content that we have out there. It'll be available on every social media platform, and of course the YouTube aspect of it, Mike. That's where we will be with every podcast and game of the week, and then all of the feature and human interest stories that we'll be doing as well.
And remember, you can actually live stream us while you're watching the game, at the game, if you want to, and see some commentary, or if you wanted to save it till later on and go home and you're working that night, you can go on YouTube and watch it and see your favorite player or your favorite team play.
Yeah, and we just want to point out as well, because we did have a nice following of folks who enjoyed what we did on the radio. It was cool for me last night. I know I was just driving home from a practice and put in the show and was listening to it on my radio off of YouTube and got to listen to Coach Allen sound way smarter than we are. So that was, but that was cool. So you can still listen to us on the radio. And reminder, you'll be able to see the games on Friday nights. You can listen to them, watch them in the stands. Let your family members from out of state watch it as well. They'll be live stream. Or if you're a player, you go home at midnight and you're not quite ready for bed because of the big Friday night game. Watch it and check it out. So we're excited about that as well. So that'll put a bow on it for us for this edition Crystal River Podcast. We appreciate Bobby Verlato. Next week we'll get in touch with Citrus and Seven Rivers, talk about the upcoming fall sports for them.
Have a nice one.